What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the preseason previews. This is the third. We only have one more to do after this,
This is the fourth one.
right? This is the
This is
fourth
the
one.
yes. Me and Q did one like 2 days ago.
Oh yeah. Where? So me and Max and JD were on that episode. Uh, they did two, just Latif and Q. A little bit weird, but it's cool. I think you guys did the Central Division.
I don't know why you're being weird. We
Whatever.
got to get these out. I'm sorry. I don't think that's weird at all. We gotta get
Nah, it's a
You're
little weird,
hating for
bro.
no reason. You're hating for no
Yeah,
reason.
it's a little weird, but we're getting into the Northwest Division. So y'all know the layout. We just talk about the acquisitions and losses, and talk about a breakout player, and if there's a major storyline, we hit on that. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Y'all know how this goes. Just start with the first team. First team we have is the reigning champions. Holy hell, why is this not?
The
Oh,
Timberwolves.
what the fuck? We got the
Reigning
Nuggets, man. So we're gonna
champions.
start off with the
Reigning
Nuggets.
champions.
All right. Technical issues. But they added Julian Strother. I don't know who that is. I'm not gonna lie.
That's
They
crazy.
lost Bruce Brown,
That's crazy. He
Jeff
played for
Green,
Gonzaga last year.
and
He was
Thomas
on
Bryant.
Gonzaga last year.
I don't know who that is, bro. Respectfully, I don't watch college.
Crazy.
Everybody knows that. Anyways, yeah, they lost Bruce Brown, Jeff Green, and Thomas Bryant. Chief, since you're the first one on my screen, I can start with you.
All right, I do want to say that Jordan is a beat writer for the Oklahoman, which is why we have him on this specific episode because we're gonna be talking about the Thunder later. So for anybody that watches, you've seen Jordan a few times, but that's specifically why we had him on this division preview. And subscribe to all the stuff up there, our channel and social medias before we even start. Now the Nuggets, they're the defending champions, so obviously most times when you're the defending champion, you don't gotta do much in the offseason to get better. Everybody has to come try to meet you at the top, basically. And so I feel like they didn't need to do much, but I think that losses are pretty significant. When you think about Bruce Brown's role in this team last year, some starting minutes, some backup minutes, he was very, very integral to their championship run. So I think actually Bruce Brown is an underrated and crucial loss. And then Jeff Green also gave them some good minutes in the playoffs in the regular season, in the finals. He gave them quality minutes off the bench. He's a veteran. So anytime you lose something like that, it's a big deal. Thomas Bryant did not play much. Their backup big depth is still, I want to say, pretty bad. I think their backup big is like Zeke Naji, DeAndre Jordan. So it's like I don't know if that's gonna be a concern, but I think it's still pretty bad. So, but I don't think Thomas Bryant was that good for them anyways. He didn't barely play. So when I look at this Nuggets roster, you need someone to step up, and that's what I think Julian Strawther is going to be. He played for Gonzaga, a 4 years player for them. He's been played well in this preseason as well. He's knocking down his threes. He's been getting to the basket. I think he's already ready to be Christian Braun from last year. He can come in and be a Swiss Army knife. You say he's better than Christian Braun?
I think
he
looks
better than what Christian Braun. Like whatever you see from Christian Braun last year, Julian Strawther looks better than that right now. But it's
I think Christian Braun's a better player right now, but I agree. Like at their points in their career, I think Strawther's shown more in the preseason than Christian Braun did.
Yeah, okay, I think because especially when you just look at the Bruce Brown role is what I would assume, you all would assume what Christian Braun is about to step into. And Bruce Brown was actually, a decent. I forget exactly what he shot from three in the postseason, but he was, fairly decent from three. But in Christian Braun wasn't, he shot terribly from three in the postseason for them and during the regular season. So, but as far as defense goes, I think he can obviously step into the role. He would probably be my breakout player for them this year, just because he's going to step into a role and get more opportunities to make some plays and have some actual give them perimeter defense that they struggle with having lost Bruce Brown. So, but I mean, when you look at the Nuggets overall, my bad, Tief. I didn't know if you were done talking. I didn't mean to cut you off, but when you look at the Nuggets in general and look at the landscape, obviously the West is getting much better. It's going to be tougher for them to do that, to repeat what they did last year while also playing better teams en route to the finals. I would say this year. No matter whatever the injuries are, I think the West in general is just deeper from what we look at now than it was around this time last year. So yeah, obviously the Nuggets are still, they should still be one of the favorites to win a championship in the West, obviously, and probably still, I believe they are the favorites in the West to win it all still. So yeah, when you look at the team just top to bottom, I mean, Jamal Murray playing at the level that he did in the postseason. Will that be a thing in the regular season? Doesn't matter. They're still going to be top just because Jokic is who he is on offense. He's capable of winning the third MVP this year. And yeah, when you just look top to bottom, I mean, obviously this team can repeat if you give them, given the matchup and given the circumstances. I think that they can repeat. Will they? I don't think they will. But I think that just goes to, again, some of the depth. Their depth has always been, I won't say it's weak, because they're really top heavy in a sense of they run a lot. Their starters run a lot of the minutes, or in general, when they had Bruce Brown and come in, was able to come in and give some of those minutes. They really ran about 7 deep in the postseason, or 7 to 8 deep, including Jeff Green. But in general, I just don't think that their depth is all that compared to other teams in the top of the West that may come back to haunt them. But I mean, when you have the best player in the league, it doesn't really matter. You have somebody like Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., KCP around him making big plays defensively. Aaron Gordon being a defender that he was in the postseason. How he stepped up in the postseason. So just in general, just my immediate takeaway is obviously there probably will be 1 or 2 in the West again, just based off of Jokic's regular season dominance and dominance in general. So yeah, that's my takeaway.
Yeah, I was just talking about Julian Strother, honestly. When I was, that was not their big addition, but they got them to the draft, and I think he's good as a cutter, so he'll be able to adapt to playing with Nikola Jokic. I think he'll be a knockdown a 3, and I think he's gonna be a good defender as well. He's like long and all that other stuff, so like he can be a good defender. I don't know. You don't gotta be. Come on, bro. We talking about basketball. Anyways, so I think, like JD said, I don't know how big of the issue depth is going to be, but I like the addition of Julian Strother, and he can either be that Christian Braun from last year, or you guys think he could be Bruce Brown from last year, then he can do that as well. I just don't think, because you saw at moments where Bruce Brown was able to play make, he was able to take the people off the dribble. I don't know if Julian Strother is going to be able to do that, in year one. That's just never really been his skill set to me. But anybody else can go.
I was saying, I got a couple things. One, I think it's interesting. Julian Strother in college played in an offense that went through Drew Timme, right? Drew Timme and Chet played through big, so I think it's similar playing through whatever Jokic has. My one big thing with what Latif said was I get they're the NBA champions, so you shouldn't have that much pressure to build. But the Suns, the Lakers, the Bucks, and the Celtics all got significantly better, right? All made big moves, whether it was with depth or signing more stars, to significantly put them on top. And there's a reason why Denver's no longer they were. I mean, before I think everything happened, I assumed they would have been the odds-on favorites to win the championship again, right? And now I think Milwaukee and Boston both overtook them. Am I right or am I wrong? I don't know.
Milwaukee and Boston overtook them.
That's what I'm saying. I think losing Bruce Brown is huge. Jeff Green, Thomas Bryant. Jeff Green, I think more is the personnel. Thomas Bryant, yeah, he was kind of a midseason addition, but losing Bruce Brown's huge. And when you look at the moves that the other contenders made, I think we might look at Denver towards the trade deadline as someone for an expiring deal or someone to go to if they need to bolster up their roster, if they have an injury or stuff like that. But I think for me, I agree. I think replacing that Bruce Brown role is significantly more important than replacing a Christian Brown role. I get Christian didn't leave, but you got to fill, if Christian's stepping up, who's filling that role? But I think I'm putting a lot of pressure on Michael Porter Jr. this year just to be consistent. I don't think he can have these games where he streaks away because they're losing depth at that wing position. I need Michael Porter Jr. to be there, consistently hitting shots, being a third star, not relying on other people to have to step up. And he shoots 1 for 10 again. You know what I mean? The inefficiencies can't be there all the time. So MPJ has to be a third star. If they lose that depth, if he can emerge into, I don't think an all-star level player, but that fringe all-star kind of level player, I think that'd be huge for their team to step up and make that jump. LA and Phoenix, I think, will both compete with them really well as far as depth. LA or Phoenix, who does Phoenix have for bigs? They have Nurkic.
Drew Eubanks.
Who?
Drew Eubanks and Bobo.
Yeah, okay. So defensively,
I think
LA is more intimidating defensively for Jokic than I think Phoenix is. but I think both teams depth-wise can outmatch Denver. But Denver does still have Jokic. They do still have Murray. They have Aaron Gordon. They still have their starting five, so they should be fine. But seeing other teams make big moves, and for the most part, Denver got worse, I'd say, because you lose Bruce Brown. That's a little scary to me. I agree with JD. I think they can do it, right? They still have Jokic. They showed they could win a championship last year, but I would not pick them to win right now based on how it looks. I still think unless someone else jumps out, unless someone else makes this big jump to emerge into that Bruce Brown role, or if MPJ takes that step up, or if Jamal truly emerges into that second star, right, puts himself in that top 8 point guard category, top 7 point guard category, I think we're looking at them at the deadline to make some moves.
It definitely got worse. Yeah, I agree with that. Slightly though.
What's up, Q? You're laughing. What's up? What you got to say?
What's up,
No,
Q?
I'm not Jamal Murray. Like, bro, don't really do much in the regular season. I understand
That's
like
what I'm
postseason stuff is great. I understand it, but it's a full body of work we got to look at. Jamal Murray is like a top 60 player in the regular season. Like, he only is a top 20 player in the postseason because there's only 30 players playing in the postseason. That's important.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, if he can be in that same conversation as I don't even know. I'm trying to think of my point guards in my head. He's not going to be Shea. I don't think
in terms of guards. In terms of guards, he's already probably like the 10th, probably like closer to the 10th best guard in his own like conference.
That's what I'm saying.
In terms of guards,
if
it's going to be hard to beat out these other guards.
I've been saying the same thing since we've been talking about this for a while, and this name always sticks with me. But if he can be like Jalen Brunson type thing, I don't know why I love Jalen Brunson now or something, but like Jalen Brunson can go out and win games by himself in the regular season. I feel like I don't see him do
it. The Nuggets, huh?
Yeah,
oh man, but the Nuggets, like I said, they don't really got a lot of depth. Like, they just 7 deep. Like, they got a good top 7, and then they just need 35 collective minutes from the bench, like between Peyton Watson, Christian Brown, Julian Strawther, Zeke Naji. You feel me? Like, they just need to give you like 7 solid minutes each. And in terms of like Bruce Brown, like him being like the secondary ball handler, like that, all the athletic, everything. Christian Brown, he's gonna try to do the same thing, but in a different way. Like, he can still get to the basket. He's big enough. He'll bully other guards to the basket. He's good finishing at the cup. His 3-ball not really there. Mirrors again not really there, but he can get to the basket. And that's how I guess he's gonna try to like get his points off, get his attack the defense like that. Julian Strawther, he can shoot. Peyton Watson, they're relying on Peyton Watson to really play big minutes this year. Big depth, not really there. It's DeAndre Jordan and Zeke Naji. Zeke Naji is yet to really like put a stamp on his position in the league. They used a mid-level on Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson probably is going to play 2 minutes a game. He's not really going to be a factor come April. But like you said, they got Jokic. They should be able to coast through the regular season to about 55, 60 wins. And once they get into the tournament, they should be still, the favorites to get to the finals because best player in the league.
All right, is that it?
We have one breakout player. I'm gonna go Zeke Naji.
Is that it?
Okay. I didn't know what you meant by that.
No, it's cool. And you can go.
My breakout player for them is, everybody gonna say Julian Strawther, probably Christian Braun or whatever his name, or Peyton Watson. I'm gonna go Zeke Naji, especially since they need some backup big help, and I don't think DeAndre Jordan is gonna be it. I don't think who else is that? I'm blanking. They got somebody else. It is DeAndre Jordan. So I think Zeke Naji can come in. He's been getting like 13 minutes a game over the last few seasons, but he's a career 38% 3-point shooter. He had a down season last year, like 26%. He can come back, stretch the floor, protect the rim a little bit, and he just got a rebound. So I think he can be, if there's going to be a breakout player, that he could be one of them. I know there's other candidates, but I didn't want to be repetitive.
Yeah, I would. Like I said, go ahead, Q.
No, you got it. Whoever wants to.
No, I had already said I think it was gonna be Christian Braun just because his level is elevated, and I'm sure they've had him in the off season, working on his jumper because again his jumper wasn't falling for them at any point this season. So I mean, but with being a rookie, there's going to be. He was good at everything but shooting the ball, I would say. Obviously not playmaking because he doesn't have the ball, but again, great cutter, a decent to good point of attack defender, obviously, and then just in the short role in the short game, he's been really good as well with Jokic and off of back screens from Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. So, I think Christian Brown is the easy answer. I would have said Peyton Watson, but I just don't know if again I've already seen Christian Braun do it in the biggest moment in the NBA Finals, in the postseason at all points. Peyton Watson haven't seen do it, and then in the G League, he was in the G League he played decent but terrible shooter. I think he shot like below 20% in the G League last year when he was the man. So, but Christian Braun, that's who it is for me.
Yeah, that is the easy answer. Like. But I just go Peyton Watson. I like Peyton Watson game. He's not the best shooter, but like I think he's gonna come in. He should try to like fill in whatever Jeff Green was doing for him. And if he could give you 80% of what Jeff Green was doing, then that could classify as like a mini breakout. But it should be Christian Brown because he's gonna get basically 28 minutes a night to do what you gotta do. Like especially like he has seniority. He's been there already. He played good enough minutes. Show flashes. Now he don't have a full chance to like really put together, be that six, that 6 man for the team. So it's him. Like everybody's gonna go with him, but I'm gonna go with Payne because I think like he has the skill set and like the measurables to like really be good. Like play that 3, play that 4, and he could probably run with any unit. Else like it has to be some shooting around him, but that's just gonna make it look better because he could cut. He's going to get a lot of looks at the basket, fast breaks, and he's going to defend. Like, he's long enough to defend, fast enough, strong enough. He's bigger than Bruce Brown, so he should be able to fill in that role also.
Max.
If you went. I'll keep it basic. I agree. Christian Brown defensively. I think KCP and Michael Porter Jr. should pick it up offensively, but I think as far as the defensive role of Bruce Brown, I think that's all Christian Brown. I think he'll develop. He'll get more shots up too. I think he'll become more efficient, but the way that he can create, I think he's big too and play make.
Yeah, I'll go with Christian Brown as well. All right, so now we're just gonna go into the over under. I'm gonna give y'all the win total and then just tell me over under. So I have them at 52.5 over or under.
Easy over. I think we'll get 60, 59,
okay.
60. They're a good regular season team. They're a good regular season team. We see this every year.
Did they win 59-60 last year? Did they win like
last year? Didn't they?
No, they did not. They did not.
I got it right here.
The Sixers might have won more games than them. I think
they won 53.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Over. I think they'll still be. I think they'll still be a good. I mean, like they're good every year.
That was with just came back Jamal Murray. You feel me? Jamal Murray, like he's really coming into this season basically fully healthy.
I think that wraps it.
Hold on a second. I was trying to see years past.
No, they're definitely going to go over though. I think they're going to be a great regular season team. They have like the best starting lineup on paper. Like obviously the Warriors had the most like statistically, but like as far as like I think fit and
they showed they could win a ring.
Yeah.
They showed they could win a ring.
You think another starting five got like
on paper? Like on paper?
Boston.
On paper, I go Boston.
Yeah, Boston and Milwaukee, I would say.
But Boston hasn't played together yet.
Milwaukee?
So I can't give them the benefit of the doubt. They haven't played together, so I got to see.
That's what I'm just saying.
We're hopping into the next team. You got the Timberwolves. They added Troy Brown, Shake Milton, and Leonard Miller, and then they lost Austin Rivers and Jalen Noel. So I'm gonna start with Q on this one, and then you can just go down the line.
They didn't lose much. Jalen Noel, Shake Milton's better than Jalen Noel. It's comparable, but I go Shake. Troy Brown, they got a shooter, and Leonard Miller. I was high on Leonard Miller. I thought he was gonna get drafted by the Nets. He's like, that big forward. He's not a great shooter, but he's like super athletic. He does everything. I think he's gonna fit nice in there. They got shooting. this team, like, they didn't be much. Like, this is probably gonna be like one of those regular season juggernauts. Like, they're just gonna win a lot of games because they probably have like the best, collection, like 1 through 10 on paper. Like, they probably gonna be like the Kings last year. Like, they probably gonna win like, I don't know. The Kings ain't win like 60 games, but like they should be, probably a 2nd seed, 3rd seed.
Yeah, I don't
The
know.
Timberwolves should be the 2nd and 3rd seed.
I don't know. That's a
They
lot.
could be. They could win a lot. 1 through 10.
They could be.
They could win a
The
lot.
Timberwolves could not make the playoffs. They almost didn't make the playoffs this past year.
I mean,
if
you think about it. If you think about it, a lot of teams. You can say that about a lot of teams. Like, like honestly,
wasn't Cat
injured?
It's
the West right now.
Wasn't Cat injured a lot this year?
Yeah,
last year.
Latif, you believe that they're going to be a good regular season team? Like,
I'm literally agreeing with you right now, Q. He said.
I said
Jordan said they could not. Yeah, they could miss the playoffs. But it's the West though, right now. Like anything outside of like 4 to 10.
A lot of things are up in the air.
Yeah, but I personally think I agree with Q that the Timberwolves are going to be a 3-4 seed, 4 maybe like 3 to 5. Like I think they're going to be comfortably a playoff team.
It's a lot of things up in the air in the West.
You got to think about it.
Whatever.
Yeah. I agree, but I don't. I guess barring injury, I think easy Denver, Phoenix, and LA are above them. I think you could.
That's it. No, the Clippers have injury. Like the Clippers have a whole bunch of injury.
So, like for me,
and the 2 of those teams get you named also got injury concerns. Like at any given moment, Devin Booker could go down, Kevin Durant could go down.
The same you could be said about this.
Last year, the 1 seed switched like 3-4 times in a 2-week span because of injury. That could happen. We don't like that team is still good top to bottom.
Throw injury out of it, bro. This is one of the best rosters in the NBA. Like honestly, it is. Like this is probably a top 5 roster on paper in the NBA. Are they one of the best? Like top 5 team, no, but you gotta look at their roster. I don't know why you're looking crazy right now. I don't know why you're looking crazy. Go look at their roster. It's deep, bro.
You can run through games just having a good roster. Just because like that won't have no implications on what you think they're gonna do in the playoffs. They could be a bad playoff team to just win a bunch of regular season games because it's regular season. A lot of people not gonna take it serious anyway. They're just gonna run out there with just talent and win. You're talking about Mike Conley, Jalen McDaniels, Anthony Edwards, Cat, Gobert, Naz Reid, Leonard Miller, Kyle Anderson, Shake Millen. That's 9 solid.
Troy Brown
is whatever.
Troy Brown.
That's 10 solid guys.
Troy Brown is good. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that.
Bro,
Troy Brown is
he's okay.
He's
a
role player.
Let's pipe down on.
Now let me tell you something.
Leonard Miller isn't gonna play. One.
That's
he's
not true.
I don't know. I don't know how much he's gonna play. Not a crazy amount, but hold on, JD.
Go ahead.
The Timberwolves are gonna be a top 4 seed in the West. I completely believe in them. They have one of the deepest rosters in the NBA. Cat, like last season, it ain't TikTok.
Yes, no, like TikTok. It might be. I'm sorry. This is a good one. This is a good one. Let your nuts hang. This is a good TikTok.
Hold on. Last year they were a bottom 10 offense just because Cat was out. You bring Cat back, they're gonna probably be in that top 11 to 15 range when you bring Cat back. Cat gonna shoot a lot of threes this year. He's gonna be returning back to form. He's gonna be playing outside on the perimeter with Rudy Gobert in the post. Now you think about it. This is another year you got Cat and Rudy, where in the beginning of last year they had issues playing together. They didn't know how to coexist. But with the whole another year of them, they're gonna have some type of congruity. We all expecting a jump from Anthony Edwards. Everyone expecting this big jump from Anthony Edwards. If that happens, then them being a top 4 seed is not crazy at all. Jaden McDaniels may take another step. He's gonna be an all-league defender. If his offense comes on at all, this team gonna be very good. The roster is insanely deep. Last year they were a top 10 defense because of one man, and it was Rudy Gobert. Like Rudy Gobert makes it a top 10 defense minimum in the regular season because how good he is as a regular season defender. I'm not talking about the playoffs. In the playoffs, this team will be losing the first and second round. Because what do you mean why? Cat cannot play in the playoffs.
Everything be playoffs, but people be forgetting like the regular season. You could run through wins in the regular season off talent.
I get you, but like from what I'm thinking, like for me, I think this whole season relies on Anthony Edwards, right? This whole season relies on Anthony Edwards. But 2 things that mean a lot in the playoffs is shooting and depth. I get defense helps too because you have Gobert, but shooting in depth. If you can have a starting 5 who can all shoot, Anthony Edwards, honestly, it's a weird pick. I think Anthony Edwards will win the Clutch Player of the Year award. I think he will be I think that'll be part of this whole thing. I think he will be in close games. He'll be hitting clutch shots, and I think that'll translate to the playoffs. But if you're saying they have the depth they do, why would that not translate to playoff wins? I get what we're saying.
Because Cat is not good in the playoffs. He's just not.
That's a different
environment. You're taking off the pressure.
You're talking about a coach.
He was the one last year
for 7 straight games. You go out regular season games. The coach ain't up at night for a whole week trying to beat you on a random Tuesday. And then here come the Timberwolves. Or if Anthony Edwards and Karl-Anthony Towns alone, they probably going to win, let's say 30 games.
Yeah, I think
that's just going to fall in place.
I think this team could be good. I think they're just outside the plan. I got them probably as a 6 seed. I got 6. Okay, how is that? Why are you looking at me?
That is not crazy. That's
not crazy. That's not crazy. No, 60 is not crazy.
10, anything can happen. So why are you looking at me crazy?
60 is not crazy. 60 is not crazy. But listen, as far as the playoffs though, like let's say they get the 4th seed, right? They match up against the Warriors or the Clippers or somebody like that. They're losing.
They can make noise. I'm sorry.
They're losing. They're losing both of those series. They're gonna lose both of those series.
They could make noise against the Warriors.
We've seen
semi well against the Warriors. Call me crazy there.
No, they're not.
I would love to be crazy. Because if it's a 4-5, if it's a 4-5 against Golden State,
I said 4-6. My bad. 4-6.
Sorry. If it's a 4-5 and they've made that, if they've been there all year long and Golden State's been there, if they're playing the same thing, I think Anthony Edwards, I'm just a fan of. I think he's great. But I think if he takes that step, he's all NBA caliber player. He's putting himself as an all-star starter level player. That's huge, right? Come playoff time, that's huge. They had the defensive bigs that Golden State can't keep up with. I'm sorry, who's guarding Cat and Rudy Gobert? Kevon Looney's 6'9".
Rudy Gobert's gonna guard himself.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert is not a.
Rudy might get played off the floor in the series.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
He might get played off. And then when you take all your rim protection away against a team like that, I mean, they don't really have any. I mean, the way Kuminga's looking, shit. But in general, they don't really have any. So I don't think that's a good matchup.
We're not talking about me and you are talking about the regular season right now. We're talking about the regular season.
If they're a 4 seed and they do this whole thing, sure, I'll buy into them for the playoffs. I'm not going to think that they're Sacramento level playoff team because they are deeper, in my opinion, than Sacramento. They have more stars than Sacramento did this year. They have Mike Conley. They have, and you can say he's not a star. It's fine.
The difference between them is the difference between them and Sacramento. Sacramento offense would have got them there. Yeah. In this case, Minnesota, their defense is going to get them there, but their offense won't be good enough. I think it'll be like a pretty balanced team. Like they were bottom of the league last year offensively, just because Cat missed the season.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's healthy, like you guys are saying.
Yeah, they're going to be middle of the pack at least.
Middle of the pack at least.
I think they're a more dangerous team than Sacramento, just because Sacramento, their point of offense was Fox, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not okay, cool. De'Aaron Fox, you can cancel him out. What the heck? I just get taken out or what? No, I'm back. Oh, sorry, I don't know why I went front. You can cancel Fox out with Anthony Edwards, but you weren't giving the ball to Domantas Sabonis he was gonna do some crazy shit and get a bucket. I'm not saying Mike Conley will do it, but Mike Conley, I think he's a better option than the majority of the guys that Sacramento had. Cat's a much better option than the majority of the guys Sacramento had, and they have a much better defensive anchor in Rudy Gobert. So I think they make it a series against Golden State. That's fine if you don't think they win. But what, Sacramento took them to 7? And I think if they're in the same place as Sacramento, that means they were better all year. Anthony Edwards has jumped himself into that star position, right? Their role players have stepped up. Their bench has stepped up. We know Golden State does not have a great bench, right? So they can outlast Golden State on the bench. We say their starting 5 is great, but for a 7-game playoff series, if one injury happens, because again, we're talking about what if with injuries. If one guy's out, they don't have the depth, right? We've talked about this. So if they get to that point, I don't think they will. I think they're a 6 seed. I don't think that Rudy Gobert is going to be this great player. I think Mike Conley still gets older. But if they get to a 3-4 seed, I don't see how you couldn't, saying they could beat the Warriors is crazy.
I don't want to harp too much on the hypothetical situation because, first of all, I think the Warriors are going to be a playing team, for one. Honestly. But,
not crazy.
Rudy Gobert, like I said, in playoff situations can get played off the floor. He's not a good playoff defender. We all know that. He can't guard the perimeter, and that's where a lot of teams go. So when you go small ball on him, he can't play. Cat is terrible in the playoffs. I think Mike Conley would be good for them. I think Ant would be good for them, but you need a tertiary star, and Cat can't even be that. Well, I don't know, bro. He just disappears every single time. But speaking for the overall roster, honestly, as a fit wise, Mike Conley is better than what D'Angelo Russell would bring you. So you see, they got better when they got Mike Conley. And so I think he's going to be a good regular season point guard. He's going to be able to table set the offense every single play, which they were improved offense once they got Mike Conley. Cat, I think he's going to force mismatches and take small players to the basket like he's been doing all preseason. If he continues to shoot a lot of threes, like Cat's best season when he was shooting like 8 threes a game, like, and that sounds crazy from a big man, but he's literally he has a case for the best 3-point shooting big man.
He's one of the best shooting big man ever. Like he's one of them, like, period. Whatever you think whatever you think about Cat, he, like, let's not act like he not 20 and 10 damn man. Like, that's just what he's gonna do. He's gonna score. Like, they got 2 20-point per game scores on their team. Another dude putting up 17. And then whatever you get from Rudy, a calm 12. And if Jalen McDaniels take a jump, he going from what, 13 to like 16, 17. That's enough. You talking about?
I think Jalen McDaniels averaged about 17. And then I think Mike Conley gonna average about 14. He's gonna take that. You're gonna just take that primary playmaker role. And he was good in the playoffs as well. So I see this team, being a 4 through 60. I think the Suns, Lakers, and Denver are all over them. But like I said, two of those teams have injury issues, and we can see them not prioritize the regular season as much and just try to load manage their players. And we can see them being like, if the Lakers like the 4 seed and the Timberwolves are 30 seed, I wouldn't be mad. People expected the Timberwolves to take that jump last year. And I saw people having them as the like a top 4 seed last year, but then Cat went out and everything went to to hell. So if Cat can stay healthy, then they'll be a good regular season team. So, but I agree though. Like saying they are 60 or like saying them, they're not gonna make. I think they're gonna be a playoff team. Like I don't think they're gonna play in. So I think
I'm not
11 seed or 10 seed or 8 seed. That's where we kind of get crazy. I think.
I believe in the Anthony Edwards jump. I don't know if I believe in that Cat and Gobert are gonna work out yet. That's still the issue for me. Where I'm like, that's the only thing I'm curious about. Like I think Anthony Edwards will make a jump. I think Mike Conley can run an offense. It's the Cat and Rudy Gobert thing. I need to see it to believe it if that's going to work out and how that's going to work out.
I don't even think we've seen it enough.
We haven't.
What's an Anthony Edwards jump? What does the Anthony Edwards jump look like?
Because what would you say? So what would you say he is right now, caliber player? You think he's a top 20 player, Q? And if not, so there you go. So if you have to think about it, then the jump would be the top 15.
Anthony Edwards is top 20.
I agree. But the jump that we're saying, I think he can have like a John Morant-esque type jump. And he was better. He was better in his second year in third year than Ja was.
I think people mention Shea and Anthony Edwards in the same conversation. Are they going to be same tier
this year?
No, coming
year,
like
right now.
At the end of this year. That's what I'm asking.
He can be because I'm saying I think Anthony Edwards, just from what we've seen last year, I think he's obviously in FIBA, he's already taken somewhat of a jump, and I think obviously with his own team and him actually running the franchise and being the face. I mean, he was last year when Cat was out, but now obviously the keys are with him. I mean, they've been with him since he got drafted first. But
he averaged 25.
In general, I think he can make a jump into a top 15 player this upcoming year. Yes. So yeah, he'll be in the conversation with Shea and Ja, and
I think he averaged 24.5.
I think he barely made the All-Star game. And I know the All-Star game is like half of it be popularity and whatnot. The reserves be coaches' decisions and things like that. But he barely made the All-Star game. Like he was a replacement
in the West.
So like I don't like. Does his jump, like, if he don't get the accolades, does the jump still matter? Like, what if he averages 26 and it's the same efficiency, still can't make? Like, what we looking for points? We looking for what?
Because like
him to be a consistent defender every night. What we looking for?
Defensive playmaking.
We think people say he's a great defender, but he's not a great defender every night. It'd be on a Monday he'll play lockup defense, and then he won't play defense again until Friday. Like, it just be there here and there. Sometimes, like towards the end of the season, like the playing games and the playoffs, like if things weren't falling, then you seen him, be a better defender. Like he just started doing other things. But like, do we expect him to do that every night? He was doing it in a higher leverage moment because it really mattered. Are you going to do that throughout the season? If he doesn't do it throughout the season, he's just going to be the same player he was last year.
That's part of the jump. I think that he will. I think he will. I think he will become a better defender. We saw, him. I wouldn't say leaps, but I think defensively in FIBA he was solid, and then just as a playmaker is really where I want to see him improve at, especially when Mike Conley is off the floor and it's, him being able to rock out with Shake Milton or. So, I mean, I think that's the big thing for him. And, depending on that is depending on how far or what they will finish and how far they potentially can go in the postseason as well.
I don't think we're going to see any crazy jump in playmaking. So when we talk about, for me, when I say a jump from Anthony Edwards, I'm thinking defense and I'm thinking his mid-range game, because if we can see both of those two take a step, what separates the stars, what separates the superstars from the stars is the in-between game. Like, all of them have it. Like, if you go in the top 10, basically besides Jason Tatum, all of them have it. So if Anthony Edwards could consistently become a pull-up mid-range shooter, efficient one, that's going to make him separate from others. And then his pull-up three-point shooting also has to continue to be better.
Wait. Giannis is in between game?
I mean, yeah. Well, Giannis, no, obviously not. But so I forgot about him. But he's so dominant in the paint and for other reasons. But that's why.
Wait. Zion has an in between game.
Anyways,
that conversation.
Yeah, crazy.
I said top 10 players, but anyways, yeah. So Anthony Edwards, I want to see him get that in between game consistently. I think he shot like 34% from mid range last season. So if he gets that, and like in the playoffs, the reason why people really think he can take this jump is because his playoff performances against Memphis, he was good, very, very good, especially for it being his first playoff appearance. Against the Nuggets in that 5-game series, he was great. He was unconscious as a pull-up shooter. Yeah, he was unconscious as a pull-up shooter. He was great on defense, especially in the help side. The only thing he really is going to have issue with is playmaking. I don't see that taking a jump anytime soon. Maybe he can become average, but you used to watch him in this preseason, he still struggles with the simplest stuff as far as playmaking.
I think like for me, like a jump is just like winning, like making game-winning plays. You know what I'm saying? Like being like in crunch time and making smart plays to win games, right? Like playing well in the playoffs, like doing that stuff, but throughout the regular season and like getting clutch baskets, like down the stretch, like he's not making these mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like he's winning games for the Timberwolves by hitting a shot or whatever, like just whatever. Like he's putting the team over the edge. You know what I mean? Like I think he could jump up to like 27, 28 points a game, right? That's 2.5, I think 3.5 points. Like it's not much. I think the scoring's a lot. I think with Cat there, it kind of opens up, right? Obviously, Cat's a great shooter, so if he's out in the arc or like wherever he's playing, you can create more. Like having Cat out as another shooter is huge. I think it could just open up more for him to work. But like as a whole, like I just think him taking a step up is just like converting his plays to wins. I don't know if that really makes sense or if that's just stupid, but like it just making like more game-winning plays on the stretch, like finally getting his respect, like De'Aaron Fox did this year, right? They were winning games, their offense was firing. He was making game-winning plays, right? Like in the crunch time, he was playing great. Like I said, the Clips Player of the Year stuff, like he's playing great. I think like with showing that in the playoffs, showing he can shine in the big moments, like that's what I'm looking for. Is like, will he be doing this on a night in, night out basis?
Yeah, I just think like the idea of what he can be has consumed a lot of people to then like, elevate him farther into like conversations that he's not in yet. Like,
oh, he's definitely overrated.
Like ESPN having him at 13. Like I could go down the list and think of players that I'm gonna take over Anthony Edwards. Like as I said, it's the idea that a lot of people was harping on. Like we gotta see it for the whole.
When people talk about this ESPN list, though, I think I kind of like overlook the fact that it's a projection of what it's going to be at the end of this season. They're saying how they're going to play in 2023 and 2024. Now, so if someone says like, yeah, Anthony Edwards would be a top 13 player in NBA after this season, you think that's crazy?
Sorry, what'd you say? Say it again.
If I barely had like top 20,
I think that'll be crazy.
I think to maybe see if he was top 20.
T, what
so that means I think
that's crazy.
He's gonna jump up past Dame this season. Like that big of is he gonna make that big of a jump that he's just suddenly better than Dame? And Dame was playing ridiculous last year.
I think,
and now it's even easier for him this year. You think Anthony Edwards is gonna make that big of a jump that he's a borderline top?
No, 13 is ridiculous.
Ja's the name I'm looking at. Ja's the name I'm looking at. If Ja like doesn't come back from like the 25,
Ja's not the name I'm looking at.
Oh, what are we talking about right now? What are you talking about?
I think like
no.
Who are you looking at, Jaden?
All right, so this is just the name. Outside looking in, you always got Devin Booker, Jimmy Butler. I feel like he's outside of the top 10, especially in the regular season.
Nah, they got Devin Booker ahead. They got Devin Booker. They got Devin Booker ahead of him at 11.
Oh, so we're just talking about just the ESPN ranking, or we're just talking about like
We're
Yeah, I
talking
was
about
just I was just looking at this list because he was saying projection. Are we projecting him to take a basically a 12 spot jump over a Damian Lillard, who's gonna have
I don't think
probably
it's a
one of
12
his
spot.
best seasons?
I think
hell
after this
no,
season,
hell no.
I think Anthony Edwards is a top 20 player. Like, could he be better
He'll
than
be
Paul
in that.
George? Could he be better than Paul
Hold
George?
on, hold on, Chief. He'll be
I don't
in
think
that.
he scored better than Paul.
No.
Like he's not efficient as Paul George. He doesn't defend like Paul George, and he doesn't play make like Paul George, like at all.
Yeah, I see it, but I'm not standing with that. But I wouldn't disagree. No, well, I wouldn't say that's stupid. I see him probably being like 16 to 19. Saying top 15 is no. Saying 13 is definitely a stretch. 15 probably, but in that 16 to 19 range, maybe 19 is a little too harsh. Probably like 16 to 18, 15 to 18,
Mind
but
you,
top
they got
13,
They
no.
got
Kyrie.
Kawhi 24, though. They got
They
Kawhi
got
24.
Kyrie and John Morant sitting
Can we
in the
stop
30s.
Can we stop referencing the ESPN list for a second? I think today that Anthony Edwards is a top 20 player. Like I got him around like
Yes.
19 or 20.
Nobody's disagreeing with that. We're talking about 13. Like
I understand that.
you can see that being 13. I don't see
I
that.
had
I
him
didn't.
in there.
I didn't say I could see it being 13. I asked Q like about. So we referenced ESPN list. So I told him like it's projection. I said, if Anthony Edwards being a top 13 player after this season, is that crazy to say? And I think he said yes. I think you said yes, and he said yes.
Yeah.
So right
I
now,
barely think he's a top 20 player. Like if I go through the list, I could probably find 20 players that's probably just based off last season were better than him. Just off last season.
I think he's either 19 or 20. He's either 19 or 20. But like I have someone like Paul George over here right now. I have Donovan Mitchell. I have Trae Young. I have John Morant. I have
Trae Young, no. Trae Young.
Trae Young is better than
Trae Young's on the fence. Yeah,
Trae
Trae
Young is
Young's on the
better.
fence.
Trae Young is better than him.
Yeah,
Trae Young
if we're talking
leads
about,
top offenses
are we
by
talking about a
himself,
projection? Are we talking about?
No, right
Are we
now,
talking
right
about?
now.
No.
Anthony Edwards was
Trae-
never
No, I
better than
would-
Trae Young ever. Like
Going
never.
going
Yeah.
into going.
I don't think he is, but
Not going
they're
into
right. If Anthony Edwards is over Trae Young, then Trae Young is like right after him.
Right after. I think
They're
those
right
are
there.
hand in hand. Those are
I'm
close.
talking about right now or projecting because it's no
Right
way.
now,
Trae Young is
right now, if we're
right now-
projecting,
no.
he's going to be better than him next year.
Yeah, I don't think Trae Young's gonna be better than Anthony Edwards. I don't see that happening.
And that's
Ever?
that,
Ever?
This year? No, I don't think so. I think Ant will be better than Trae Young.
He clears him as a playmaker, like clears
Obviously.
him. Like,
Obviously,
Of course,
clears
Trae Young
him.
is like one of the best playmakers in the league.
And as a scorer, Anthony Edwards is a better
What?
scorer, more efficient than Trae Young. It's about the same.
Yeah, it's about the same.
Trae Young's not that
Defense,
efficient.
we talk about playmaking. I'm talking about defense. So they're right there. They're in there. What
Trae
Trae
Young's
Young
like
is
actually not that efficient, like at all though.
I didn't say he was.
Yeah, Trae Young's not efficient.
Were you making a comparison? Like you were
I said
saying
they're
that they're
about the
like
same.
He was saying
That's
that they're
what
both
I'm
like efficient wise right now, like the same. But I think Ant is going to be more efficient next year. So that also
have
Is this what you value? You value that inconsistent defense or that always a top playmaker? Like
I would rather Anthony Edwards than Trae Young this upcoming year. Yes, I would.
Guard defense is the least valuable defense in the NBA. I would like to say that. So
Yeah, that's true.
but I don't know. Trae Young is like I said. He's right now. Anthony Edwards is not better than Trae Young. Trae Young is one of the best offensive engines in the NBA consistently, and he's as a one. He's taking his team to the Eastern Conference Finals, which we have not seen.
over here. Probably.
It doesn't matter what does that even mean? He beat the Sixers
matters.
and he beat the Sixers and to get there. What does that do with the Kobe?
Ben Simmons collapse.
What does that have to do? Like, is that his fault? Is that his fault?
That has a lot.
No, is that his fault?
I'm not trying to take away from anything. I'm just saying, like, yes, I'm not gonna lie. COVID year definitely does have a lot to do with it. I'm not stepping down from that.
How?
There were a lot of people out because of COVID.
In the East?
Confused. A lot of
He
people.
played?
who was out?
He played. He played the Knicks. He played the
Who was
Knicks and the Sixers. Who's out?
Who was out?
Okay, then. Like we don't
Bro,
understand
just
lying
be
now.
fucking-
Let me. That's not lying. That's literally not lying, nigga.
It was on the West. It was on the West.
Excuse my French.
Hold on.
Okay, I could
was
be wrong. I
fucking
could be wrong about that. But that don't say I'm lying. Like, don't say I'm lying. That's just crazy.
All right, you was just wrong. Sorry.
Yeah. Same thing, bro. At this point, now, but yeah, I don't think he's better than Trae Young. If you want to go defense,
Long story short, we got to see it first. Long story short, let's see it first.
Let's do breakout player and wins. Let's go to the next team. We've been talking about Anthony Edwards for a long time.
Friday, Latif, Friday.
I don't know what that means.
Man, the breakout player is probably going to be Anthony Edwards. You know, everybody knows it should be Anthony Edwards, but I think it's going to be Jalen McDaniels.
I was going to say
whole defense year. He probably going to take a jump, you know, shooting wise, scoring wise, efficiency wise, and you know he's probably going to have that Herb Jones type breakout. How Herb Jones did it. I think he's like their version of him. He's going to be a stopper. He's going to taking the best assignments every night. What you said?
I said he's better than Herb Jones.
He is better than Herb Jones right now. Like already better.
Defensively?
Yes.
Oh, well, as a whole. I'm not gonna lie.
As a whole, yeah, he's already a better shooter than Herb Jones.
Better, I'm about to say he clears him as a shooter.
Yeah. You feel me? Like, but Herb Jones got the acknowledgement already. Jalen, he's gonna get the actual, you know, name on the list. Like, yeah, I'm an all NBA defender. Like, he's gonna be somebody. He's gonna be very important to the team.
Yeah.
Nah, I know a lot of people were like, putting down Rudy Gobert, no, I think Gobert's gonna find his groove coming into the season, and then like you said, Q, there is a lot of inconsistencies when it comes to Anthony Edwards' defense, but I feel like if he can bring it every night, this will be a very scary defensive team, especially in the starting lineup. You have McDaniels, Rudy Gobert, and Anthony Edwards. If he just brings it every night, I will say McDaniels would be my breakout player. So yeah, I don't know who else went.
I mean, I would say McDaniels too, just for all the obvious reasons.
On that defense point, Mike Conley is still a plus defender. Like, he's not a bad defender at all. Like, he's been all defense before. He's not no slouch. He doesn't. So like, they could possibly have 4+ defenders in their starting lineup.
It's kind of crazy. We haven't really mentioned it, and I feel like it was a big re-sign. Like, what do y'all see as like Naz Reid's like role in this team right now?
Oh yeah, Naz Reid's gonna be huge.
I kind of forgot about him.
Like, best bigs in the league.
I would say he could be that, but he's got Rudy Gobert and Cat in his spot. So like, I don't know what Naz Reid's gonna be, but obviously like he was a huge re-sign.
He's still gonna get a lot of minutes though. It's still a lot of minutes, especially when you're the lone backup big on the team. Like, you can run him at the 5 for basically 25 minutes, or you could run him next to Cat. If you run him next to Cat, that's a full 5-hour offense for like 5 minutes a game, and they could just probably shoot teams off the floor.
Yeah. All right. We have them at 44.5 wins, over and under. I'm just start with Q, first person I see.
Over. I think they probably win like 48 games, 48 to 50, at least, in my opinion.
Max.
Under, I'm at like 43, 44. I got them close, but I got them a little under.
So under.
I got them at like 46. So over. Yeah, over.
Okay. Latif. We can't hear you.
I don't know why I was muted. But yeah, Timberwolves are going over. My breakout player is Leonard Miller, by the way.
Yeah, plug your thing in. Yeah, plug that back in.
Miller
I'm gonna go a little bit over. No, your audio is like a little bit different. So yeah, I'll go over. I'll probably say like 47, 48. Somewhere around there. All right, we're gonna start with Mr. JD here. Doing big things in Oklahoma, man. So additions, they got Case and Wallace. I know Max is happy about that. Oh, so we actually got the guy that works for the Thunder basically, and a big OKC fan. So this would be interesting. Case and Wallace, Davis Bertans, and then they lose Dario Saric.
I wouldn't say that I'm a big OKC fan, but I think that the outlook for the team.
No, it's on my Max.
Oh, my bad. But yeah, no, the outlook for the team is strong this year. I think, in my opinion, they'll probably be around the same as far as regular season goes. They'll probably finish around the same spot that they did last year. I believe they were the 9 seed. They probably are around the 7, 8, 9. They're a playing team for sure. Obviously they were middle of the pack both offensively and defensively last year without Chet, and then now you bring number 2 pick in, one of the best upcoming prospects, and you plug them in. I mean, obviously in the preseason he's been dominant. You plug in, one of the, I would say, already probably one of the best rim protectors in the league. Straight out of college, averaging 3 blocks a game at Gonzaga, and you automatically plug him into a team again that was already middle of the pack last year with J-Dub and Jalen Williams, men in the front court, and you plug in Chet to that. I mean, just defensively, I think that they easily can be a top 10 defense. They could push top 5, with Dort being your point of attack, and then sending Dort to Chet, down the lane. That's actually something I talked to Chet about, him and Dort. I wrote a whole story on that, just their defensive identity. But so defensively, we know what they bring, and then offensively, with Shea being the engine, with Jalen Williams, I think he's going to take another jump. That he, obviously, I think Chet. A lot of people are talking about Wemby. Obviously, Chet can win Rookie of the Year, and he's going to have a really good year. So they can easily, not be a play-in team. They could be around like a 6. They could slip into a 6 seed, at best. If their ceiling probably is a 6 seed, if we're being honest. But when you look at just the offensive output, they play a lot of positionless basketball. That's what Dagnall has said, and obviously last year their missing piece was their big man. I mean, they were one of the, if not, they had the smallest team in the league last year for the most part. Rebounding was a problem. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they were like bottom 10 or bottom 5 in rebounding. Chet, obviously I wouldn't, call him a snagger, but, obviously being a 7-footer is going to make your defense better. Rebounding also as well is going to be better. I'm sorry. But in general, I think offensively, when you just look at the output of Shea, the way that he was playing last year, still going to be playing a top 10 caliber player. All NBA first team player, and you put better players around him. I think obviously, I think he's, reached where he's going to be about, as far as, I think we want to see him become a better defender. Playmaking, he's already strong and solid. So I think when you look at the outlook of the team in general, top to bottom, really good roster. Well, I wouldn't say really good, but a decent enough roster to make a decent playoff run. Or not a playoff run, but you know what I mean, like make the playoffs. So, and then you just look at all the teams that we would say in the same conversation with them, who would be the Pelicans, is the War? Are we saying the Warriors are a playing team, or just when you just look at the the outlook of this team, I think that again their ceiling can be a 6 seed, but top to bottom, when you have Shea running the offense and doing what he does, and plugging in Chet, I think. And then they have the 3-point shooting. They have a lot of, other qualifying. They have a lot of things that they weren't able to provide last year and show off last year. Now that, they have their second best player in the mix, I think they're gonna shock a lot of people. They could be, again, a 6 seed in the West at best. So that's just my takeaway from them.
Max,
go ahead, Max.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a lot to look forward to this season. The big issue is just development. You got a lot of guys, right? Shea is obviously developed into the star he is. But who's going to be the number 2? I think we have a solid starting 5, solid 6. But who's going to kind of keep emerging there? We got Kaysen this year. We got Ousmane Dieng last year, who didn't really show a lot last year. So is he going to step up, become a bench piece we need? Kenrich Williams kind of show that he can, again, play some serviceable minutes. Isaiah Joe shot the ball very well last year. But it's all just development. And I guess my only fear is that I don't want to be sitting here every year thinking that someone or something's going to develop and then Shea's kind of eclipsed. You know what I mean? He kind of goes over. So while Shea's at this point, I want to see this team do something. I don't want to trade. I know we talked about for key points. I don't want to trade for a star. I don't know what star is going to stay in OKC. So unless we get it under some crazy team control or whatever, I don't know what star is staying in OKC. So you just got to rely on the guys we have to either be phenomenal role players. Hopefully Chet becomes that number 2. And we have Josh Giddey as a second form of offense. We have the defense and the versatility of Jalen Williams and Lou Dort. I know you said we have a small team, and I agree because I think Lou Dort's like 6'4". I think he's like the smallest. But Shea's tall. Jalen Williams is lengthy, like he can play the outside. Ousmane Dieng's tall coming off the bench. Kaysen Wallace, I don't even think he's a short guard. Like we do have size as far as wings and other positions. So
yeah.
I think once you throw Chet in at the 7 foot, we start to get this big lineup, and he really unlocks a lot of stuff. I think throwing Jalen Williams off the bench, again, I think he's a good bench piece. As a starter, I'm kind of nervous. So I expect hopefully some big jumps from Giddey offensively, just becoming more defined, getting more efficient. The play calling, I hope that he can actually just run the offense if Shea's out. Defensively, I get Shea might not be amazing, but he's a good defensive point guard, especially compared to the other stars in the league. He can defend. He showed that last year. I think he averaged like a steal and a half or something last year. So like overall, the team is very versatile. We can shoot, we can defend. We're young, but the big issue is we just need to develop, right? Guys need to turn 18-point games into 20-point games and 20-point games into 25 because you're not going to win in the West if you don't have some more of that star power. And I'm like looking at Chet and I'm looking at Jalen Williams. We'll get into my breakout players. But it's also coming off the bench, right? You can't play a 6-7 man lineup, especially when it comes late in the season and injuries. So I need to see Kaysen and Usman, Kenrich, JRE, like some guys off the bench play some quality minutes. I don't need them to drop 10 points a game or be a 6-man of the year candidate. I just need them to defend, or you need to shoot, or you need whatever. So I think a lot of potential from this team. I don't know. I think our ceiling, I agree. I think our ceiling is a 4 or 5 seed. I think if everything works out well, if Chet turns into the defensive rim stopper that you want, if he puts up 18 points a game, saying a 4 or 5 is not insane. If you have him 6,
it is.
Are you finally sold on?
I said they would be a playing team, but
I got him finishing. I think I have him finishing around where Minnesota's at. I'll be biased and say there'll be a seed over Minnesota. But
no.
Max. Are you finally buying?
How many wins? Oh, how is it? How many? I get you have Minnesota finishing as like a best team in the West. Fine, but
that's not what I said.
That's not what I said. Realistically.
But you talked about they're going to be 6-7. But you saying that the OKC could be 4 or 5.
I'm not. Four's a stretch. I think their ceiling is 5. I think ceiling is 5. I think
ceiling is not 5.
No, Max.
I think they're 7
Max,
5.
I know earlier.
5 is it? Huh?
I know earlier we were talking about Chet like probably like a few months back or something like that, or maybe like when we were about to like going into the draft. I know you said that you weren't sold on, or maybe I'm thinking about a different person.
No.
But are you finally buying into Chet?
I don't know. I need to see it translate into actual bigs. I need to see him play against I still need to see him hold his own against the Embiids and the Jokic's and the Giannis's every night. I'm sorry.
That's so unfair. Who else is holding their own against?
I'm just saying.
He's not going to play. He's not going to play an Embiid. He's not going to play Embiid, Jokic, and Giannis every night.
JD, did you not call him one of the best rim protectors in the league?
Yes, he is.
So if he's one of the best rim protectors in the league, should he not be going toe to toe with some of these guys?
No, he's a rookie. He's a rookie.
Who called him one of the best rim protectors in the league?
That's 2 different things. That's 2 different things, bro.
The best rim protectors in the NBA,
2 to 3 players versus the rest of the league, the other 27 teams.
The best rim protectors in the NBA get cooked by Embiid and Giannis and Jokic
that's
all
a
the
difference.
time.
One-on-one matchup, you can't protect the rim when Jokic back in your chest. Like it don't work.
If he's getting bodied by Wemby, I get he's got the headbutt or whatever. I can't see him getting bodied by Wemby. I'm sorry.
He literally done this time. KD.
Embiid gonna go in there and abuse Wemby. Wemby's probably gonna be one of the best shot blockers in the league too, and he's gonna get dominated by Joel Embiid and Jokic.
You're such a meat muncher, Chief. It's disgusting.
Everybody calm down.
So Giannis wasn't giving AD.
I'm going to be honest. LeBron did not play in that game. It was a preseason game. I did not watch it. Now listen. Let me tell you this.
Right.
So I think we kind of got off the rails a little bit there. Max, I understand. OKC fan, you got wild. First of all, they're not a 7 to 5. They're more like a 10 to 7. Right? You got to think how deep the West is. A lot of better teams have more experienced players and a better roster than the Thunder. The Thunder are, like JD said, ceiling is a 6 seed. They made a 6 seed. That would be very, very shocking. You got to realize how deep the West is. Like they're in that Pelicans, Mavericks.
Yeah. I think it's the same thing.
The Kings still floating around.
It's the same thing as last year.
Pelicans are higher.
Same exact thing as last year.
Pelicans are higher. Pelicans are higher.
Don't engage. No, hold on. Let me go to my spiel.
Last year, where we were projected to win like 30, 33 games.
Y'all are literally in the same spot. Y'all are literally in the same spot as last year, though. Because
that's Teeth. Let me go before you.
That's not true at all.
We got the same. We gonna.
They are in the same spot. The West got better, but go ahead.
Let me just say this because me and you, we kind of on the same page with the Chet situation. OKC, we are unbiased when it comes to them. All I'm gonna say about OKC is I ran down all their losses last year. and like 90% of their losses were decided by 10 points or less. And if they came down to like the end of the game, couldn't get defensive stops and things like that. I think Chet literally helps. Like he literally kind of doesn't erase that completely, but like say instead of like they lose 40 games like that by 10, they lose 20. Like, you know what I'm saying? You just kind of cut that in half. That just makes them that much better of a basketball team in those moments. And he opens the floor on offense. Like, especially with Bertans. Bertans not this great player. Like, he's not nothing. He's just money. He's a trade fodder or whatever. But you seen like the other game, like it was a minute 30 stretch where he got the ball 3 times on a catch and shoot, and he was letting it flop. You put him and Chet in a lineup with, let's say, Shea, J-Dub, Giddy, whatever. For 5 minutes, they probably be able to run you off the floor on offense, and they just probably coast for the rest of the game. Like they have different lineups they can use now. Kaysen, I thought Kaysen would be a Dort replacement, but he could just be on the team. Dort could be on the team still. They have 3 basically plus defenders at guard. They got J-Dub doing everything. He's like a Swiss Army knife, and every time you look up, he got 18 points in the third quarter. It's like, damn, how? I think like,
yeah,
you're right. This is a building year. They got to see what they got. They don't need a trade.
What I lie about?
I'll push a button for later on. Like, but
essentially, right.
Oh, I just said.
I feel like their defense. I feel like no. Hold on, Max. I feel like their defense. You lied. They're not in the same spot as last year. Like that's literally a lie.
They're going to be about a 10 to 7 seed. They're going to be a playing team. They're a playing team last year. They're going to be a playing team this year. How are you not in the same spot?
That's not what I'm saying. The thing I said like where we all thought everyone said they were going to be a 30-33 win team last year, and then you had Shea emerge, Jalen Williams turned to this great player, and they made the play-in. Right? No one thought they were going to be a playing team. Vegas odds not have them as a playing team. I'm just saying. I get I'm biased. I think the middle of that West. I think anywhere from 4, I think might be higher, but like 4 to 5 to 10, I think will be within a couple of games like it was last year. I think it'll be close in there. So I think that having a game or two, sure, I'm biased. I'll say we'll win a couple of games. That's fine. But I'm just saying it's a similar situation. We are considered a playing team now. So over or whatever, outdoing expectations.
If you said that you're going to be the 4 seed, now I'm lost. I'm not with
okay,
you.
Listen. Can I talk? Okay, listen.
No, you can't talk. Let me get back into what I was saying. First off, they're not in the.
I didn't even get to go. What are we talking?
They're not in the same position. No, because you just lied. How are they in the same position? I feel like their defense got better.
They're a playing team this year.
Oh, so you're just talking about like standing wise.
Yes, bro. They're gonna be like they're gonna be anywhere from a 10 to a 7 seed this year. The same thing's gonna happen.
Bro, it's crazy, bro.
Like the games between the 10 seed and the 7 seed last year was probably like a game and a half, bro. They're gonna be in the same position they were last year. So when I say they're in the same position, they're gonna be a playing team.
Do you think the West is gonna be like as jumbled up as it was last year?
It might be worse.
It might be even worse.
It might be worse. Now,
okay. Now last year, coming from. But before that was bull, bro. It was bull.
Right. Okay. Last year, this team was a top 12 defense. You add Chet Holmgren to the team, I think they have a chance to be top 7 as a ceiling top 5 because he's gonna be one of the best rim protectors day one in the
defensive
NBA.
Upside got way better.
Bro been saying it since like July, by the way. So this ain't nothing new. We've been saying this since July.
Offensively is where I had a concern. Last year, they were top 12 defensive because they forced a lot of turnovers. In the paint, they were not good. Jalen Williams is not a good defender as far as in the paint. So you add Chet, that's obviously going to get better. Offense is where I had a concern. The half-court offense wasn't good last year for a number of reasons. 1, Lou Dort is not a good offensive player. 2, and I'm going to get to this later, but Giddy is not he's not a good offensive player. I can't say. He's not a good
Lou Dort cooked on the Pelicans.
You keep stop bringing that up, bro, please. But like at this point in his career, like factually, Josh Giddey is negative. He's a negative. Like he is. Like when he's on the court, he's a negative. The Thunder
if he mans the second unit.
Josh Giddey is they're 8 points better when he's not on the court. They're 8 points better. Like you can go check the stats. They are 8 points better on offense when he's not on the court. They're like 0.1 better when he's on the court on defense. So it's like he's a negative at this point. So because 1, he can't shoot, he really can't finish crazy. His best thing right now is passing, and he can't space the floor. So Josh Giddey at this point is a negative. But the offense needs to get better. A lot of it was like a transition. They're a great transition team. They got out and ran, but their half-court offense is where they need to improve. You talking about fourth?
Go ahead, my bad.
Huh? No, go ahead. What'd you say?
Go ahead.
Okay. He's talking about 4 or 5 seed. The Thunder are not going to take this next step until they trade for a star. They need to trade for like someone like Joel Embiid, who is going to come available. They need to package Josh Giddey, the plethora of picks. Y'all did the rebuild. Y'all have a lot of assets. It's time, either this season or next offseason.
Bro.
Yeah, this is nasty. I ain't gonna lie, this is nasty.
They're not taking the next step until an actual cusp of contending team.
Like Max was just saying, let their players develop. I mean, right now nobody is saying that they're gonna be a contender. We're saying give them.
I'm not saying that. I'm telling, bro.
The issue with that is
they have
not look.
Hold on.
Can Chet develop?
Okay, Chet, cool. But listen, they have so many people that need to develop on the team. You have a lot of picks, a lot of players. You need to what, bro? Anyways,
so why would you?
They have all this talent on the roster. At some point, you got to trade this talent and those assets you have to make.
I agree. I agreed with that. But I'm saying like that should not be the mindset. The mindset should be to develop these players, and then if doesn't work out, then that's when you trade for a star. I'm saying right now.
What did the Sixers do? What did the Sixers do
right now? Is what I'm saying. If Embiid becomes available, I wouldn't trade for Embiid. If a lot of what star could come available that would fit their mold and would make sense for them to even make a trade. Because if you're talking about a star, a lot of these stars are that haven't already signed a contract extension, 5-year contract extensions. A lot of these stars in the league, unless they haven't developed into them yet, it wouldn't make sense for them to trade young pieces for much older players or players that are well established, like you're saying that they should trade for. So like again, I think that you should wait it out. This team is all about the future right now. Again, they have 27 draft picks over the next 7 years or something like that. So
I'm saying they're going to. My whole point was they're going to have to eventually like trade some type of star and to take the next
that's
jump.
Nasty.
Because
that's not true.
How's that nasty?
It's a sticky spot.
It's nasty because they're younger. They're all young players.
Giddey does not fit in this offense. Giddey doesn't fit in this offense. I'm just telling you, Giddey does not fit in this offense.
Maybe you can get rid of Giddey, but I feel like that whole take is kind of garbage. You're bringing up Joel Embiid, but literally that's what they did with the 76ers. They were all young.
That's not what they did with the 76ers. Why are you lying?
What are you? Can I finish what I was saying, bro? Can I finish what I was saying? Like, this is getting ridiculous. Let me finish, bro. I'm saying with the 76ers, when the whole trust the process thing happened, all that type of stuff, they had so much young talent, and then they developed their talent. I feel like right now, well, I wouldn't say that they're on the same level as the young 76ers, but they have so much young talent. They have pieces like Chet, they have pieces like Shea. If you just let them develop, see what they have as of right now, and then if stuff doesn't work out, then you trade them away.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. The 76ers didn't develop no young talent. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons came in being what they are basically already. Like, they missed years and just came in and hit the ground running. 76ers didn't develop one. They made bad pick after bad pick after bad pick because they had a bunch of assets. That was just completely that didn't even correlate to this.
They had a whole bunch of young talent.
That they did not develop. They didn't develop Michael Carter Williams. They didn't develop Nerlens Well. That's it. Those failed. They had two. They hit on 2 picks and they hit the ground running.
Let me go, Q.
Wait,
let me go
because I know you're going.
They tanked.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
The reason why T is saying Joel Embiid because we know for a fact he's the one that's gonna be available, and it's also a position that the Thunder would need. Like Chet, cool. We expect Chet to be that, but like if you have Chet and Joel Embiid down there, your defensive problems is pretty much over when it comes at the rim, and it's not like that would be a conflict on offense because Chet could be out there and shoot threes. It's just Chet missing a year that kind of messed it up because if Chet played all last year, then you could go in this year thinking like, oh, maybe we can make a trade depending on how that season had went. But now this is that season that you need to see what they look like together before you even think about making a trade. I don't think that should be on your mind, especially at trade deadline, trading for just any random star that comes available and then trying to make a push right now in this West when it's a clear 3 teams like that's like far ahead and they're not even going to be able to compete. If they make that Joel Embiid trade, they're trying to microwave the process like how Minnesota did last year.
What assets are you giving up? If you're
they got a bunch of first round picks and Giddey.
You spin.
Yeah, you could say
I want to talk about this season.
Joel Embiid. But
I want to talk about this season.
I don't think you don't need to do that now. Like if Joel Embiid's available now, he's gonna be available at the end of the year. Unless somebody
I wasn't I don't know if y'all got the impression I was talking about this season. I literally said revisit it in the offseason. No, they don't. Joel Embiid does not make them consider this season. Like I don't really think it does. Like they'll be a playoff team with stamps.
It depends on what they give up. It depends on what they give up. But you have two.
It's not gonna make them. It's not gonna make them.
I'm just saying
this season.
I feel like you would have to give up a
top 10
lot.
players.
But y'all do have a lot. You have a lot of assets
for Joel Embiid.
Now listen, hold on.
Beats that.
Yeah. But to David's point about they know the process was way different. They sucked for years to get multiple top 10 picks. The Thunder did a rebuild the right way. They traded all their players, got a lot of assets, and then they competed literally like a season or two later. Like they were in the playoff contention last year. They were in the play-in. So that's one. Two, like I said, I think Giddey's the odd man out here. You got Jay Williams, who I think is gonna be an all-star. You got Shea, who is an all-NBA level player. You got Chet Holmgren, who is, I think, part of the future of the NBA. Giddey and Dort are, I feel like, the two odd men out. Like Dort is a good defender, but you got Casey Wallace already there who can come in and give you the defense he provides. And Giddey is just not good defensively or offensively.
Dort's the easier trade
Dort's
target.
not big.
Dort's making like $20 million a year.
Dort's like 6'5".
Yeah, Dort's the easier trade target.
He's 6'4".
He's making $20 million for sure. He just signed.
If we
trade,
you
can trade Dort. You can trade.
Dort will be part of the deal.
Dort,
money's gonna have to match up. Dort will be part of the deal.
Maybe part with like they're gonna have to like the way that they built this rebuild is great. They competed. Yeah, they stockpiled assets, but at some point, and I wasn't talking about this season, you're going to have to trade some of these players, some of these assets to actually get a piece that puts you in contention. Because maybe Shea, Chet, Jalen Williams is enough out of some development, maybe. But we saw like instances like the Minnesota Timberwolves where it didn't work out. Where I know they don't really correlate, but like. I just personally think that Giddey needs to move. I've been saying this for a while. Q knows that. I've been saying Giddey needs to go. I've been saying Dort needs to go. I think those two people players are the odd men out in the scene.
Regardless, we just need this. You need this whole year to figure that out. Like you just need this year to figure that out. Go out there and try to win as much games as possible. See if you can make the play-in/playoffs. See what you can do, and then you'll be able to fully evaluate what you need as a team going forward. Maybe you don't need to make a big trade for a big star, but you can make 2 semi-smaller trades and go get I know like OGs, like it's more like the idea of OG, but like OG ain't that yet. But say you send out a first on a expiring for OG, or like you just sign him right out in the offseason, and you go get another type of maybe a front court player to pair with Chet, somebody with a little bit more bulk on him, so you can fortify that. Now you're looking at a 7 to maybe 8 deep roster, and you ain't got to rely on all your rookies always hitting. You could ride the coattails of Shea, J-Dub, Chet, and let's say OG or whoever you those smaller trades you bring in for like above average, NBA players, and you could really run the table with that because you could coast basically do half a season just off Shea. You just got to get the extra pieces on the side, see what it do for you. But you need this whole season just to evaluate.
Do we talk about the over and under and then a breakout player? I feel like we've been talking about the Thunder for a minute. No. Time to get off of that. All right. Photos. Everybody have their breakout player.
It's Chet.
Yeah,
it's Chet. I think he's gonna win Rookie of the Year. Like
J-Dub.
Chet going Rookie of the Year for sure.
I think we'll get into this with Portland, but I think it's Scoot. I'm sorry. I'll have my whole thought.
So wait. Did we do the over under or
no, not yet?
Okay, so the over under is set at 45.5. Q, we can just start with you.
It's 44. It's 44.5.
They
won 44.5.
They won
44.5. My bad.
How much did they win last year?
42? Like 41?
42.
I got it. I got the standings pulled up. They got 40.
40, yeah. I think I'm gonna go under, but it's still more than what they probably 42 wins, like right there, middle of the right there in that fight, like right there in the fight, 42, 43. So like Vegas got a good number on that. So I'm gonna go with the under. I wouldn't be surprised if they get 45 though,
I
but
got him
43 is
I got him at 44, 45. So give me the over.
I got him at 42, so under.
They're going under. They're not. They're. I don't. Max is doing, but yeah, they're going under.
You like? I will pull up the clip. You literally said 5, so that's cool. I'll pull up the clip when we record.
Yeah, I'm going with,
Hold on.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, you literally said 5.
Did anybody hear me say they're gonna be? They're sitting with a top 5 team.
Did you?
I said they're
It's
sitting
gonna
with
be
the
a top 5 defense.
You said top 7 defense for sure.
Maybe
That's
said
what I heard.
top 7.
I didn't hear top 5, and I thought you meant top 5 teams.
I was talking
just said that. So don't like.
Yeah.
All right, let's
No.
move on.
I said top 7. Top 5.
It's just the fact that we're debating. We're like literally we're arguing over the 6 and the 5 seed. But that's cool, man. Keep it going.
All right, bro. All right, let's move on. All right, we got the Blazers. One of the best off seasons. I know Teef was very excited with Mr. Cronin. A lot of moves. So I know he's gonna have a lot to say. Probably, I don't know. Well, we saw most of the moves with the whole Suns trade. Just get into it. Oh my gosh, let me have. So Scoot, obviously, DeAndre Ayton.
Chris Murray.
I'm in Chris Murray.
Yeah.
What's up?
Chris Murray, Malcolm Brogdon, Robert. You actually you have another fuck up on this list. My bad for cursing. Chris Murray, Malcolm Brogdon, and Robert Williams, and then they lose. Obviously, Damian Lillard and Yusuf Nurkic. I want to start with Teef on this one. Oh, Max, you wanted to go?
Yeah, I want to get my thing out there so no one else can take it. I do have Scoop for Rookie of the Year. I'm just gonna put that out there now. I think, yeah. I'm sorry, you guys. I have Chet. I have Victor. I'm sorry. I think it's obviously gonna be Scoot. This team has a lot of players who can play, and I think we've seen Scoot in the preseason kind of play make and facilitate. I think Scoot has the keys to this entire offense. I think you have shooters, you have bigs, you have experienced players. Like, I think this is Scoot's team now, though. He just takes over the Dame role. He can score, he can pass now. Like, it's completely his team. And their team's competent enough. They have enough players. I think, obviously, Chet has the Thunder, which, like, the Thunder have a good team. Wemby has some pieces, right? You got – what's up?
No. My bad. I thought you were about to go.
No, you're good. I was saying Wemby's got, like, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Trey Jones. But I think like Portland's got like I don't think they'll make much noise, but like they got an interesting team as far as players who got experience. You got Jeremy Grant, DeAndre Ayton, Anthony Simon, Shaden Sharp. Like I think they'll be a fun team. If I'm a Portland fan, I'm happy. But yeah, I think Scoot will ball out this year. I think the Dame trade's confusing sometimes because I think that you could have got maybe a better package other places, but the Drew Holiday stuff they got back I thought was really good. I think he kind of saved it. I didn't really like the trade a whole lot when they just traded him straight up. I love the Milwaukee aspect.
When you get a chance, cook him. He capping.
About the trade?
This is the best possible package they could have got, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it got better once they traded away.
That's a part of the package.
That's part of the package.
That's what I'm saying.
That's part of the reason why I was always going to be a better package.
Dame trade, it looks confusing. And then when you get the picks and you got Time Lord and Malcolm Brogdon, that helps out a lot. So I agree. The package is not bad looking back on it. I was confused when they just traded Dame basically for what seemed like DeAndre Ayton. So I was confused. I didn't think Drew Holiday had that much of a market right now as far as giving away 2 first-round picks and then the pieces they did. So, I don't think it'll make much noise, but if I'm pulling a bet,
what are you talking about, Teef?
I lied, bro. I lied. I'm gonna call my number on this one, Teef. You're going after me, buddy. My bad. No, I like all the moves because I don't have too much to say. I like all the moves. I know Q and Teef are very high on DeAndre Ayton going into this year.
What? Why
you just come up here and lie?
I think it's.
You've been moving weird, like
I
all
think you
episodes.
said 22. I think you said like 22 and 10, something like that. I don't know, something crazy.
That's crazy.
Something crazy like that.
Bro,
I don't do that.
We're
talking
about an 18 and 10 guy, and he didn't want to be on the team.
Yeah,
18 and 10 guy, he didn't want to be on the team.
22
and in a fresh start, you can't score 2 more
JD
buckets.
what we're talking about. Get JD
22
in on
and
this.
12.
Get
22
JD in
and
on
12
this.
is not
is crazy
crazy,
to me.
Braden. I'm not gonna lie, especially in that role, it's not that
Thank
crazy.
you.
22 and 12.
Being an idiot, bro.
No. How is that being an idiot? How is that being an idiot? That's 4 points. I'm not gonna lie. That's actually like huge. A
That's
4-point jump
buckets.
is actually pretty big.
That's 2 buckets.
That's like 3 more shots a game, and he's definitely
He's
gonna have
probably
more
gonna
opportunities
get
to score this year.
the second most touches on the team from being the person that got the 5th or 4th most touches on the team, and he was giving you 17, 18, and 10. You mean to tell me if he's getting 10 more opportunities a game, he can't convert 10 more opportunities into 2 more baskets? That's just crazy thinking, bro. And he
So
didn't
22
want to
and
be
12,
in
20.
Phoenix.
So you're there for 22 and 12.
I didn't say that, but he could. He definitely
Okay.
20 and 10 is on the table. He 18 and 10 is right there. Like he does
Okay,
it regularly.
22 and 12 is not crazy at all, bro. Like he's gonna have the opportunity to do that. I don't like.
Like,
No, 22 and 12 is crazy, but I'm gonna get into what I was gonna say. Thank you. No, 22 and 12 is actually pretty ridiculous to me. That's not gonna happen. If we want to put money on that, that's cool.
How about 22 and 10?
Statement
I
right
will
here.
I will bet
No,
money here.
22 and 12.
22 and 10, I do that. That's
bet
No,
money.
22 and 12. 22 and 12. We can start. We got this on record. We can put money on it. Don't know how much.
Are we
Well,
we still got a Jalen Green bet? That was for $100 that he's making an All-Star game.
Yeah, we got that. We
Okay.
still got that. We can come back to it. It's on record.
Jaden bet that
It's on
$100 that Jalen Green was making an All-Star game.
That's a bad bet. You might as well pay your money up right now.
That's not a bad
Also,
bet. That's not a bad bet. Anyways,
all the guard depth in the
Are you-
West.
are you-
That's a bad bet. That's a bad bet.
anyways,
I'm sorry.
that's not a bad bet. And this is gonna
Go
work
ahead,
out.
go-
This is gonna work
finish,
out for me
finish.
tremendously.
Okay, whatever.
But anyways, no, this team has a whole bunch of bright spots. Until Max and Q and Latif broke down the Jeremy Grant thing. I thought the money that they pay him was ridiculous, but then that's how the league is going right now. So I guess that's not too bad. You have some nice pieces. This team is kind of guard heavy. You have Scoot. I saw Q. You responded to like a tweet the other day. Like it was talking about Scoot and
Anthony
Shea
Simon, you
or
talking
something
about
like
Brett
that.
Usher? The Brett Usher tweet when I was like,
Yeah,
Anthony
just like
Simons?
everybody's forgetting about Simons. So that's somebody who I was starting to forget about. That's why I thought like the whole team wasn't going in the direction of Simons. Simons is his bucket. Hey, he's one of those guys. So they are pretty guard heavy. I don't know how Malcolm Brogdon is gonna fit in with this. I thought he was probably gonna get moved most likely, but I guess he's gonna stay on the roster. So you have a lot of pieces. Chris Murray, I think he's gonna have the same impact probably that his brother has. Robert Williams, that's a good piece. No. No, I mean holy, that was bad. That was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. I meant they're gonna be the same type of caliber player, bro. Just good just good NBA players.
I guess.
Robert Williams, that's a good pickup defensively. So yeah, they have a lot of pieces that they added. I like them. All right, Tiff, you can get into your whole spiel.
Yo, Mike,
You on mute.
You're muted.
You on mute.
Again.
Unprofessional. You still on mute.
No, I'm not.
Oh, all right.
Anyways, no, I think this is a decent roster. You got you look at it, you know, like Scoot, Anthony Simon, Shaden Sharp, Jeremy and Grant, DeAndre Ayton, starting lineup.
You say Jarian?
Huh?
You say Jeremy, right?
Jeremy Grant.
I thought you said Jerry and Grant. I was like,
Look
what?
at Max,
no.
bro. Look at Max, bro. It's always
Anyways,
Max.
Malcolm Brogdon and then Robert Williams went off the bench. That's a solid like little 7-man lineup. Chris Murray will not have the impact that his brother had because one, he's not going to roll.
He's not gonna play.
Bro, he is a starter.
What do you mean he's not going to have a role?
Nah, he's going to have a role.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said he's not going to have the same role as his brother because his brother was a starter on the playoff team.
Oh, no, he's not going to start.
No. I said impact. I said impact was far. I meant they're going to be like the same type of caliber player.
You say he's
not about to play this year, brother.
You said what?
That man is not about to play.
Yeah, he might not play that much. Honestly, they got Matisse Thybulle over him too, so I don't know, bro.
And Jabari Walker is going to play over him.
Yeah, so let's really be serious right now. Okay, but outside that, life after Dame is going to be interesting. I think they started the rebuild off great. Joe Cronin did an amazing job. He did not bend a knee for his star player. He also got the best package possible because Drew Holiday trade values will be a lot more than Tyler Heroes. So I think he did a great job starting his rebuild. I love Scoot as a prospect. I think year one, he's going to be similar to like Derrick Rose and Ja Morant. We've seen that. Those type of year ones. I think his pace of play is amazing. You really can't speed him up. You can't slow him
Did you
down.
see his shot, Teeth? Did you see his shot?
His jump shot?
Yeah, it's looking pretty
It looks.
decent.
It is. I think his mid-range game is going to be pretty nice. So I just like I said, his pace of play. You can't really speed him up. Like he has two different gears he can go into. I think he was the most NBA ready prospect coming into the league outside of like Victor Wembanyama, honestly. But yeah, so I like the addition of Scoot. I'm looking for a big year from Anthony Simons this year. With him like with Dame being gone, I think Anthony Simons is very underrated. But yeah, DeAndre Ayton will average about 22 and 10. I don't think 2 more rebounds is insane because he's gonna have the role. He's gonna be in a different situation where he obviously wants to be in. You saw him the first day he got traded. 30 minutes later, he was on 2K with a Portland Trailblazers jersey. He walked into the facility. He was screaming and shouting. When a player is motivated, especially him, we saw him at the height of his powers. He was playing well on the finals run. So if he can get back to that level of play where he's motivated, where he's having fun, under a coach like Chauncey Billups, who's a good player coach, then DeAndre Ayton could be a candidate for a most improved player, and that's just a fact. Outside of that, I have not like Yusuf Nurkic is not really lost to me. So I think DeAndre Ayton is in the vacuum is a better player than him, and I think he'll be better for them than Portland. So it's not really crazy to say. I think it's probably gonna be like 11-12 seed. 11-12 seed.
We're a rebuilding team. It's just that it's rebuilding. Got some young pieces. Just rebuilding. Young too much. Not really
They're
looking
like
for them to make
they're
moves. I
like
think it's just developing other
Nets.
players.
Like this Portland Trailblazers, they're like the Nets of the West. Like they have a bunch of pieces that it looks like they just need to drop in 2 stars. If Scoot is one of those stars, you really just need to drop in another one because they have a bunch of like threes and like a third play like Jeremy Grant. He's not really a 3, but he's a 3. But if you slide him down to 4 because you bring in somebody else, then that's cool. They have Anthony Simons is still 20 points per game. Shaedon Sharpe, he has a lot of potential. The whole DeAndre Ayton thing, like I said, he's going to get a lot of touches, even if it's just off Scoot actions. They're probably going to run a lot of pick and roll, picking pops and everything for DeAndre Ayton, and it's going to be up to Scoot whether to give him up or him get to the basket. The Joe Cronin situation, he got the best package that he could possibly gotten because Tyler Hero wasn't going to fetch you back 2 first-round picks, Robert Williams and Malcolm Brogdon. They could probably still go out there and flip Malcolm Brogdon into a Robert Williams if they want to. Like it was just never going to happen like with Tyler Hero. And now they move on. They got a bright future. They got they got guards. They got a 20-point per game guy in Jamie Grant. No matter regardless of how he gets the points, he was efficient enough last year. Shot 40% from 3. He hasn't played a lot of defense lately, but he can play defense. Like if you ask him to, especially if it's Chauncey Billups. They have their own outlook. It's gonna be like pretty rough for like 2 years, but that's cool. That's what they signed up for, and they potentially got their Dame replacement. Probably somebody in 3 years could be a 20-point per game guy. Good playmaking. You just got to see it. I think they did what they had to do for themselves. It's just you got to wait and see. They're in that same bucket like the Spurs. 2 years from now, let's figure it out. Down the line.
Yeah, I think
JD, I think you're the only one.
The offense I feel like can keep up enough and be in close situations and win enough games where at best they can be like a 9 or 10 seed playing team, but the defense is just too bad. Like they were already pretty bad last year. I don't think that what am I saying something crazy by saying that they could be a 9 or 10?
No, it won't be 9.
Oh no! I wasn't.
They have a talented roster. Like they have a talented enough.
Yeah,
roster.
like they have a talented roster, and then especially again, just offensively, I'll probably get into it when we talk about the breakout players, but just offensively, I think that there's a lot of levels, not a lot of levels, but there's some decent levels that this team can go to with Scoot at guard, and then Simon's right next to him, as well as I just feel like there's a lot of motion offense that can really get this offense to be going, and they were already a top 20 offense last year. I think this year it won't be that much better, but it will be better. So I think they could be a top 15 offense, give or take. But yeah, just defensively is where the issues will come. And but overall, like you said, the talented rosters. This roster is obviously the front office is obviously looking towards the future. I don't know if they're going to trade Malcolm Brogdon to try to get some other draft capital, but we'll see. But yeah, I mean, y'all pretty much have hit everything on the head about this team. So
they won't be a 9-10 seed. No, they won't. It's too many teams in the West. I think they'll be better than Utah.
That's the bucket that they're in. Like, we're gonna talk about Utah, but like the Spurs, the the Spurs, the Jazz, and Portland. Even you could even say the Rockets. They're all in that like that. Same
I would include
bucket.
Spurs. I would include the Spurs. I think the bucket is the Rockets, Utah.
Why would you include Spurs? Because of Victor and Miami? Because of Victor?
No, I'm saying I think
because they're better than them or they're worse.
I think the Rockets, Utah, and Blazers all have better rosters. They have better rosters than the Spurs.
No, yeah, the Rockets are better than the
Sure.
Spurs. I think I saw that too. A lot of people arguing.
But like, people, everybody believes that Victor is who he said. Like, they already believe Victor's that guy. So like, you obviously give him that booster to think like they could compete with these, these other teams. Like, they also have players, like they don't have as much players, like they don't go as deep. Like the Spurs don't go as deep as Portland does, because after Victor, Keldon, Jeremy, and Devin Vassell, it's a little bit of job off, because Dre Jones is not like a great offensive player. Bro can't shoot. He's a decent enough playmaker, but he can't shoot. And after that, Zach Collins is not really like anything to score, like, that you're really worried about. But Portland, you go Scoot, Simons, Shaden, Jeremy Grant, DeAndre, Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, Matisse Thybulle, I forgot he was on there. Like, they have a good 7 set, like, 7 players, and then, some rotational players and they got picks. They got enough things and assets to go do whatever they want to do and build it up for the next 2 years and do some things.
All right, let's finish this up. We have them at 37.5 wins, over and under.
Over
or under.
37.5 under.
Yeah, they probably win like 35 games. I'm gonna go under.
And y'all breakout player?
Under.
Mine is Anthony Simons. I think with Scoot having to, just himself just take on the responsibility of playmaking. I think Anthony, I think he could just come in and do what he does best, and that's score. I don't know. I think it was the Brett Usher tweet or video that I saw, but just about how well he played when Dame was off the floor. He's averaging like 27 a game and shooting over 40 from three. Obviously, he's not going to be on the ball as much with Scoot, but I think just in general, he can take a leap as far as just as a scorer. He's going to get better as he ages. So that would be my option for breakout player for this team.
I'm going DeAndre Ayton, but I already should say the reasons.
I think Aiden's an easy pick. I would love to say Shaden Sharp. I think Shaden Sharp and Scoot could be super fun to watch. I guess I'll go Shaden Sharp, but yeah, I don't know. I think Simons and Ayton automatically take a step up just based off of role. You know what I mean? They have a bigger role now in this team. Jeremy Grant too, but I'll just go Shaden Sharp for fun.
Okay, yeah. So there's a lot of money to be made with this DeAndre Ayton bet and then this Jalen Green bet. A lot of people are going to come.
Do you want? Okay, hold on. Do you want to do 2010? Can we do 2010?
22 and 12. I'm not going 22 and 10.
Okay, so now
we're doing 22 and 12.
We're
doing 22 and 12.
Are we agreed that DeAndre Ayton has a higher role on this team?
He does, but I'm not saying 22 and I'm not saying 22 and 12.
All right. When he was the 4th option, what was his numbers?
Like 18 and 10.
It was like 18 and 10, 18 and 11.
So if his role increases, why wouldn't the production? Isn't that how it goes?
That is so cute. I'm happy for you. Let's just lock in the money, and then just see
how much how
it plays out.
How much in the bet?
This is something we talk about off stream. Right now, let's keep it professional, and let's get into the next team. All right, so we got our last team, the Jazz. We saw a lot of things happen with the Jazz. We saw Lauri Markkanen break out. Actually, I guess it wasn't a lot. Just Lauri Markkanen broke out. They added John Collins, the smart guy here. Keynote George, don't know who that is. Keontae George, Taylor Hendricks. Taylor Hendricks. That's a great pickup. And Bryson Sabal, another great pickup. Didn't lose any players. So I'm gonna start with Latif. Latif, I know you're gonna talk about Keontae probably.
Yes.
Keontae is my
Yes,
guy,
yes.
so I kind of wanted the Pelicans to draft him, but it's cool. But Latif, we can start with you.
I thought Jalen Hutchins was your guy, but
He had like 6 guys. Remember that mock
You're
draft?
lying.
Remember that mock
You're
draft?
lying.
He had
You're
like
lying.
8 guys.
He's
Don't
lying.
worry.
you drafted
No,
Jalen
that's a
Hutchins
lie.
not.
That's a lie.
You drafted
It was Keontae. It was
Jalen
Keontae,
Hutchins at 9.
Safino.
Jordan was here for that. Jordan was
It
here
was
for that.
it was
Yeah,
Keontae.
What happened? My
It
fault.
was Keontae.
Jordan picked Nick Smith at 4. Jordan picked Nick Smith at 4. Never
I
forget.
did.
All right, cool.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. That was
Cool.
bad. That was
Cool.
really bad.
But I wanna
It was high.
I wanna note
That's
that it
hindsight.
was.
It was such a long time
I
ago.
wanna know.
Yeah.
I want to note that I wanted the Pelicans to draft Keontae. Did I not, Latif? Or are you lying? Are you gonna
I
lie
never
today?
said you didn't. I didn't say that. I said
Okay, and then even before the draft, was I not telling you that Keontae was I was very high on Keontae. Keontae was one of my favorite college basketball players, and I don't even watch college basketball like that. So are we gonna lie about that also?
So that's where you lose me because you say you don't watch college basketball. But anyways,
I said like that. I said like that. All right, so you're gonna continue to lie. So Max, I want you to open.
No, hold on. Let me go.
Because
First of all, he goes. Why you move me down? First of all, Keontae George. I made a video on Keontae George literally like almost a year ago now, a very long time ago. But with the Jazz teams, though, I don't know. I mean, I guess I know what the Jazz are doing. Their direction is kind of iffy to me because, first of all, you signed John Collins. That was a head scratcher for me. I guess we're going to try to move him at the deadline, but unless he shows potential, I don't think he's going to have a lot of suitors because honestly, John Collins is not that good. Keontae George, great pickup. John Collins is not that good.
Wow. That's not true. We literally just seen him his whole role change. Like, what are we talking about? He was somebody
you're gonna say that about John Collins.
Yeah, hold on.
You're ridiculous.
No,
bro.
I'm not. No, I'm not predicting
bro.
a stat line. He's saying that he's not good when they literally force him to be a corner shooter with something that he's not.
Because he can't really do anything else. The only thing he can do is he can't shoot. And the only thing he can do, he can't defend. The only thing he can do is catch lobs. Bro. Yeah. So, anybody else on this panel think that?
To be fair, in his contract year, when he was eligible for extension, he went out there and averaged 20 and 10, and almost made an All-Star game. That's why he got paid. Most teams, if their player breaks up, huh?
John Collins almost made the All-Star game.
Yeah, that year he almost made the All-Star game. He basically got snubbed.
True.
What was that? That was like
2021.
2020. He averaged 20 and 10, and that's why he got paid. What else was the Hawks supposed to do? Were they not supposed to pay a guy that just went out there and averaged 20 and 10?
I'm not arguing with that. But
you just say he was bad. You just say he was bad.
Q is not about to say he's good though. He's not about to end his monologue by saying he's good. He's not about to say that.
Yeah, all I'm just saying, like a lot of him being bad and him being a bad contract is because he got paid that amount of money for something that he went out and did. You can't he went out and did it. What you expect him to do? And he's right. They did change his role. They literally brought in Clint Capella and Bogdan and everything. Now he just faded into the back burners. So obviously he wasn't going to put up the stats or the numbers.
What narrative are we getting at here with John Collins? I'm just trying to figure out.
I'm just saying, it's not like.
Is he a bad player?
Is he good? Did I say he was bad? I say he's not good.
No, JD.
There's a lot of.
We got into it on John Collins because we got into it about John Collins because I just don't accept lying on this podcast. Latif, you didn't say he was a bad player.
I did not say that. I said he's not good. I said he's not good. That does not mean he's bad. He's okay, bro. John Collins is not like.
Stop it. Not good means bad. Not good means bad.
No, it is not. No, it is not.
Yes, it does.
He's an okay player. He's a role player.
He's a role player.
He's bad.
No. See, this is where you're lying. This is the problem. This is the problem. First off, Latif and JD especially. JD, you are a journalist. You're a writer. Words mean everything. If you're saying somebody is not good, you're not implying that they're okay. Because you know what? You would have just said that they're okay. You would have just said that they're an average player. You would have just said that they're a role player. If you're saying that somebody is not good, you're insinuating that they are bad. Latif, saying that he's a bad player is a lie.
The only reason I get what you're saying, but because if you just say it like empty and just say he's not good, you have to give more context. Like I said, he's not good, but he's not bad, meaning that he's okay.
Yeah, I didn't say he was a bad player. So you said
he said he's not good.
You saying that I say he was bad is a lie. I never say he was bad. I never say he was bad. John Collins is not a bad NBA player, but he's also not good. Like, what does he do?
Yeah, going to I just wanted to. I only brought that up because I really wanted to get the point across that he's willing to acknowledge that bro's role got changed multiple times, and that's why he wasn't doing what he's doing. But he won't use that same.
I'm not predicting the stat line. I never disagree with you, Q, about DeAndre Ayton is going to have a different role on the team. I didn't disagree with that. I'm just not agreeing with 22 and 12.
But
I'm not putting a certain stat line up with John
If you
Collins.
agree on one thing, that subsequently makes you have to agree on the other part. That obviously with your role, stats change. Stats change with your role. 9 times out of 10,
I see what he's saying. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I understand what he means. He's saying because John Collins' roles change, his stats gonna lower. But when it's DeAndre Ayton, whose stats gonna get better with his role being higher, then you gotta agree. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. You lost that.
Yeah, there's no medium. There's almost no medium there. Your common sense, like
you're lying. You're lying. No, you're lying.
I ain't gonna lie.
That's terrible.
He
didn't cook me. He didn't cook me.
Go ahead, T.
Anyways,
whatever.
Yeah, like I said, John Collins. Like I said, my whole point was at the trade deadline. I don't know what value he's going to have because one, he's making a decent amount of money, and he's again not a good player. He's okay, but Keontae George, I think we're gonna get to our breakout players. I think he can actually carve out a role in this team because like a 6-man role coming off the bench, provide some scoring. They already got like Jordan Clarkson there, but I don't think Colin Sexton is okay. Again, they have a lot of okay players on the roster. Colin Sexton is okay. But in the grand scheme of things, Keontae George is the future of this team. He's going to be a top 5 player in this class when it's all said and done.
When? That's kind of crazy.
In this draft class?
No, I thought you were about to say he was going to become a top 5 player.
I said a top 5 player in this class is
no. I know. Like, my bad.
What do you thought I said, man? There's literally no other way to interpret it. When I say he's a top 5 player, he would be a top 5 player.
No. I'm saying I heard top 5, and then I just stopped listening.
Okay, that's what y'all do. Y'all stop listening. Y'all stop listening a lot. But anyways,
yeah, I don't know if he's top 5 in the draft class, but it's fine. We'll keep pushing.
He will be. Outside of that, Taylor Hendricks. This is what I was saying. I don't know what direction they're going. First of all, you take Taylor Hendricks with your first pick in the entire draft, and then you literally don't play him in the preseason. I know he's dealing with injury. He doesn't play summer league, and then you bring in John Collins. That's where the disconnect is coming from me. You already have Kelly on.
Yeah,
they're like a lot of force in the roster. I don't know what the draft's doing right now. Danny Ainge
got Kelly Olynyk also. So
yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Bryce Sensabaugh was a great pick. He's gonna be able to microwave scorer, but honestly, that's all he's gonna be able to do. Outside of that, I don't see him doing anything else. They didn't really lose much. That's all I got to say though. That got long because people wanted to butt in and just be factually wrong. But go ahead.
How was I wrong? See, let's move on. Q. I want to get into what you were saying,
Q. He pretty much like I was gonna say the same thing. I don't know their direction. I kind of understand it though. They're probably like going to be a selling team because like come trade deadline, a team who might want Kelly Olynyk, a floor spacer at the 4/5 who could shoot. Probably like the Warriors. The Warriors probably should have been a type of team to try to go pick him up or try to trade for him, but they didn't really have nothing to go get him. John Collins, he kind of in no man's land there. Like they got Laurie, so he doesn't need to be there. Taylor Hendricks projects to be better than what John Collins is. Like he's a better defender than John Collins. He probably scored just the same. His money, he's getting $25 million and 26 the next, like on a player option the year after next. No team should want to be trading for him at the trade deadline, so he's probably going to be stuck there for a year. Like I said, they got Kelly, they got Walker Kessler, like they're front court heavy, and then they got a bunch of guards. They don't really have a true small forward unless you're going to sit there and run Laurie at small forward basically 70% of the time, which I don't really want to see. I understand the lineup in the minutes he plays at small forward is actually like a lot better, but I think he's better at 4. Keontae, he should be like that's with him and Sensabaugh, there's a way for you to move off of Jordan Clarkson, but they just paid him. I'm pretty sure. They don't really have like no real point guard on the team. Like the Jazz team, they're probably like another 2 years out from really doing anything. So they just like in that middle crust like that. Always probably gonna be always in the lottery. There's no point for them to really be good. They just waiting for that, probably like for a star or something like that. Or for them to emerge, have a star, build within. So yeah, they just like a regular team right now.
Yeah, I wanted to go next. Q, you kind of stole my point. The Jazz, they don't have any playmakers at all. unless Keontae can add that to his game. Uh, but yeah, I love Keontae. He is wild on the offensive end. Um, shots that he takes sometimes are head scratching, but I feel like him coming off the bench, being a six man, he'll come into that role of just being that scoring guy. Again, hopefully he can add that playmaking aspect to this game. I don't know much about John Collins and just the pieces that they added when it comes to John Collins and Taylor Hendricks. So yeah, it does put them in a rough spot. But I don't know. I don't know. The bright spot for me is Keontae George. I am a huge fan of Keontae George. So however that goes about, is Colin Sexton probably going to start?
What school Keontae George went to?
Baylor, bro. Like, that's weird. That was weird.
Took you too long to answer that one.
Anyways, is Colin Sexton gonna start?
Probably to start the year.
I don't know what else you got.
Hey, shout out Taylor Horton-Tucker, man. Shout out Taylor Horton-Tucker, man. Chicago legend. He's hooping in the preseason for sure, and I think he can carve his. What?
Anybody that missed the last half of that back half of the season, like from the back half of the season
you make league from Chicago. You're a Chicago legend. I don't know what to tell you. And he's been a leading scorer for the Jazz in the preseason so far. Averaged about 18 points. He's had an integral role in this team, and I hope to see that going for it. Shout out to Taylor Horton-Tucker again.
Are you talking about Taylor Horton-Tucker? First off, I wasn't talking about him not being a Chicago legend. See, like, that's exactly what you're. I wasn't disputing him being a Chicago legend, and then again, that's kind of far actually. I don't think Taylor Horton-Tucker is going to be the needle mover. I don't know if that's what you were.
I didn't say that ever. I didn't say that ever, bro. I never said that.
I didn't. I was taking my AirPods out, so I didn't hear what you said. You said 18 and what?
Antagonist, like you have an antagonist.
You said 18 and anything about Taylor.
I said no.
What did you say?
I said shout out Taylor Horton-Tucker, Chicago legend. You
said that's in the preseason.
I said he's hooping in the preseason. He's the leading scorer right now. He was averaging 18 points in the preseason last time I checked.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. That's preseason. But yeah, it's cool.
You're a hater. Hey, that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't have much to say about the Jazz. I mean, y'all.
Taylor, I'm looking for you on the podcast, man. I'm looking for you, man.
Y'all, you can't not say that and then say that. But I think you guys are pretty much hit the nail on everything. Utah Jazz related, like they don't have any playmakers, I would say, for the most part, but. Just in general, like you guys are saying, I don't really see the outlook of this franchise. I mean, I look at it sort of as like a hub for a lot of role players. Like you're saying, like did you guys say the Jazz were like the Nets of the West?
He said Portland.
I said Portland. I said Portland like the Nets.
Portland was like that. Well, I think it is like that, for them last year. Like I think the Jazz just have a lot of expiring contracts on their team. Players that on their team, like I feel like they traded for a John Collins for at the trade deadline if a team wants to, because I believe he's on the expiring, isn't he?
Nah, he got 2 more years. This year and next year, then he got a player option.
Oh, then never mind.
So that's 3 seasons then. That's 3 seasons then because he's going to set that player option, right? Is that 3 seasons then?
Yeah, but that's 26 million. Jeremy Grant getting paid more than that. You feel me? Like his 25 million is not like as bad as it used to be like 2 years ago. So it's like you could make it work, but it's like who somebody has to want John Collins and what he could do for your team. I don't know what he does for a winning team outside of being a lob threat.
So yeah, just not, but it's like they Kelly Olynyk, Jordan Clarkson, like they have a few other pieces that you could trade and flip for draft capital. So that's what I look at them as, like a pit stop for players like that are looking to move on. So yeah, I really don't understand what the short term. I mean, obviously I get long term, but like short term right now, just like trading like Latif just said, drafting Taylor Hendricks first and then trading for John Collins is kind of a backwards move, and then it's just a log jam at forward for them. So the outside for this season for them is pretty low. Like I believe that they could potentially be the worst team in the NBA.
No, that's the worst.
I don't know if they're the worst team, but like I'm trying to compare this to like Danny Ainge Celtics teams. Like I'm trying to see any correlations like to how they're gonna go from here. Danny Ainge didn't really have to tank in Boston because he had Brooklyn's picks, but like no one wants to come to Salt Lake, right? I don't think they're going to sign a star in Salt Lake unless you get another guy like Lauri Markkanen who wants to try and show and prove who he is. So like I'm like looking more.
I think like each team probably gonna get through everything. Like who they get, probably that's gonna be a star player, probably be through the draft.
So that's what I'm saying. I think this team. I don't know. I agree. Maybe they move a Kelly Olynyk or Jordan Clarkson. I think I low-key might look to Lauri Markkanen though, because I don't think he's fitting on the same timeline with their potential future draft picks, whatever they get. Right. I don't know who's going to trade for him. I don't know what team needs a Lauri Markkanen. I guess he's a great shooter, great offensive player, defensively not so great. But like I could see. I think they'll keep a Walker Kessler. I think you keep a Keontae George. I think those guys stay on the team as far as potential goes. But I think, like especially Lauri, I think Lauri is like the most valuable piece on their team. Obviously, they can get the biggest package from him. That can kind of jumpstart their rebuild as soon as possible. So I don't know what it is. I don't think they'll be the worst team in the league. I'm not really like I don't know. I don't think they'll be terrible. I think Lauri can win you a couple of games. I think there's other worse teams, I guess, right now, or just barring injuries too. But this team's very confusing to me. They don't have guards, so unless they trade for someone at the deadline or something, but like I don't think they want to trade for players if you're not going to be competent or a winning team. So
they started their rebuild already. Like once they traded both Rudy and Donovan, they started their rebuild. They just happened to luck into an all-star and Lauri Markkanen. But they made they've got Keontae George and Taylor Hendricks. Basically 2 top 10 prospects going into the draft, damn near. Like between Taylor Hendricks, who's gonna be a defensive, he's gonna play defense, he's gonna be able to, shoot, not the greatest, but he's gonna be able to shoot, space the floor a little bit. They got Walker Kessler, like they pretty much have 4 dudes right now that they count on to play heavy minutes and really see what they got. They just need a hit on a couple more, maybe the next year or two, and then they still got the assets and the picks to go out and get somebody. If they trade for them, they're gonna have to play unless they're a Dame or somebody, but like any secondary star that gets traded there, they're gonna play there. It's easy to pair somebody with Lauri Markkanen, especially at guard. If they can find a playmaking guard, it'll be easy to pair with Lauri Markkanen. He doesn't really disrupt the flow of any offense. He's gonna get his points, his 24 points, just not being ball dominant or anything. It's up to the guards to really do anything. We want to see Keontae go out there and be able to try and play make. Clarkson probably not gonna be there after this year. They just re-upped him, but he's still movable. He's at 15, 18 a year. Like I said on Collins, so a team's gonna have to warn them. But they're probably just that, a pit stop team. We'll take on your bad contracts, give me a pick for it, vice versa. They could sell high on Olynyk at trade deadline. Any contending team that wants a floor spacing big, any team could really use that.
Yeah, I don't know what team. I don't know what team's going to win John Collins. I can't one team in the entire NBA.
Nah, but I know a team that could use Kelly, like the Cavs that could use Kelly Olynyk. They Cavs
can use Lauri Markkanen, honestly.
You said the Cavs?
For real? Yes.
Yeah.
Shooting.
The reunion? I guess. But that's gonna wrap everything up for this episode. This was the Northwest Division. I think we have 2 more. I can't wait till we get into the Southwest. Those have some teams. Some personal favorites for me.
No teams.
Jalen Green, Zion Williamson. We're gonna get into that. I'm salivating just thinking about it. Pause. That was crazy.
Actually, there's no pause. That's no pause.
Crazy, bro.
Anyways, if you haven't, you see the socials at the top. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. If you see those, if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't followed, do it now. What are you waiting for? This was the preseason, whatever we call it, and we're out. Appreciate y'all for support.